Now, there's been a big hoo-ha this week because the English local elections, for some regions anyway, are on Thursday. And Nigel Farage, is the leader of UKIP, the UK Independence Party, came out earlier in the week and said, got a bit of the problem. We haven't had time to vet all of our candidates, so we don't know what it is that most of them believe. Now, in this age of social media, as you can imagine, this has proved to be an unmitigating disaster for UKIP. Now, let's have a look at what some of the people who are standing for election for UKIP next Thursday, I think there's 1,700 of these individuals altogether. Let's have a look at what some of them have been saying. Now, we're going to break it down into homophobic comments, racist comments, and because UKIP are a party of equal opportunities discrimination, we're also going to throw in a bit of sexism. So to start off with, we're going to have a look at some of the more homophobic comments that have been said. And there's a guy called John Sullivan, and he is a UKIP candidate. And on a Facebook group called Traditional Britain Group, these comments were made in August. The Daily Mail printed these on their website. He was talking about Moscow's decision to ban gay pride marches. And there are a few comments on here, and John Sullivan's comment has been the most talked about this morning, but we'll have a look at some of the other ones as well. So here's the link. Moscow bans homosexual marches for a century. Will London follow? Linda Clark Molyneux, not very good at French. She said, homosexual marches should be banned from public places. I find it offensive, and it's against my human rights to see it on the streets. Because part of Linda's human rights regard her only seeing things that she's in favour of. And I like the fact that she only thinks that homosexual marches should be banned in streets. So if somebody wants to have a march through their kitchen waving a gay pride flag, that's okay. She goes on to say, what they do in their own homes is up to them, so long as children are not involved. So, again, the kitchen march is fine, but no children. They should be somewhere else. I wish they could but not refer to them as gays. To me, gay is a word that means happy. Suppose Larry Grayson started that saying. And I did like Larry. He was a lovely man. So, gay people are awful, but it's okay if they don't march in the streets and that presumably they march in the privacy of their own homes. There are no children there, because we've got to have children there. Think of the children. Won't somebody think of the children? And Larry Grayson is okay. She's yet to get back to us on what her views are on Graham Norton. And other gay entertainers on television. But yeah, Linda had her views, and Linda had 7 likes. That was a good... Linda's iPhone was popping that day with all her notifications. And here comes John Sullivan's comment. And the thing he says right at the end, he has this little rant about what it was like when he was in school back in 1743. But more untangential to this was the view that regular physical exercise for boys was, in the Victorian eyes and mine, being a school founded in 1888, was still the same when I attended in 1963. A lot of these UKIP people aren't very good at punctuation and spelling and grammar, and ironically the Polish and Romanian immigrants that they so vehemently oppose probably have a better grasp of the English language than they do. But he goes on to say, physical education released boys' tensions and thus avoided homosexuality, which the Victorians abhorred. So, what John Sullivan here is saying is that what we need to do to stop homosexuality is to get gangs of you little boys to wear skimpy shorts and run around playing fields across Britain. Okay, John, you keep thinking of that, and the rest of us will continue to act as if homosexuality is a completely natural manner of behaviour and inclination. Penguins are homosexual, giraffes are homosexual. Homosexuality is found in every species on the planet. There is nothing more natural besides, shitting and pissing perhaps, but, So there are the UKIP homophobes. But, fear not, the fun doesn't stop there. There are also plenty of UKIPers, as they like to call themselves, who this week have been caught out for racism. And there's a guy called Chris Scotton. He seems to be a big big friends is a bit of a strong phrase, but he's got loads of photos of him with Nigel Farage. And we've got a few Facebook groups that he's joined here. He's had as many notifications as Linda, I bet, this week. And let's have a look at some of the groups that he's been joining. The first one, according to the Daily Mail website, is Racism. Nah, mate. It's just ethnic banter. Okay. Another one of the groups he's joined is I hate it when I lose my black friend in the dark. Now, not only is that disgustingly racist and just not particularly funny, what I'd say to any of Mr. Sutton's friends, or Scotton's friends, Sutton or Scotton, I can't, Mr. Scotton, sorry. What I'd say to any of Mr. Scotton's friends who happen to be black is, you are almost as stupid as he is. If you were a black individual, why would you be friends with somebody who has such abhorrent views towards you just because of the colour of your skin? Well, anyway, it turns out that UKIP have a policy which says that people who are members of the EDL and the BNP or former members or whatever, or former supporters or advocates, aren't allowed to participate in their organisation because they want to have this image that they're so nice and friendly and cuddly conservatives who just happen to hate people because of what country they come from or their skin colour or their sexuality or whatever. But it turns out that Mr. Scotton, another one of the groups that he's liked, he spent a lot of time clicking the like button on Facebook. One of the other groups that he likes is, surprise, surprise, the EDL, the big band nasty group that UKIP don't like because they're racist and we aren't. But yeah, Mr. Scotton is apparently a Facebook liker of the EDL. I imagine he just goes on there just for the research. He just likes the page so the things he disagrees with will come up on his profile. A bit like how, you know, some men like to buy Playboy just to read the articles and that kind of thing. Oh no, now as I said, UKIP are an equal opportunities discriminator. And it's not just the candidates who are saying horrible things, no, it's the already elected MEPs who've been making heinous comments for a long time. Here's a link from 2004 on the BBC News website. A UKIP MEP called Godfrey Bloom, fancy name, told the media that no self-respecting small businessman with a brain in the right place would ever employ a lady of childbearing age. Because obviously, women who are of childbearing ages might develop children. And obviously we can't have that because, you know, we can't reproduce and we can't have women in the workplace because, you know, the economy would manage fine if 50% of people who are working just kind of like dropped off the payroll. And just when you thought you'd seen everything that UKIP could offer in their bigotry and their vitriol, here's a picture posted by a guy called Roger Da Costa. Now, ooh, whoa, his name is a little bit foreign for UKIP sensibilities, but he seems to be managing okay. He's got a fairly successful UKIP Twitter account. And he's posted a picture. And it says, for those who still think UKIP are racist, here is a photo with a UKIP Croydon team. It looks like they just dragged these people from the street and plonked Nigel Farage on the end. But even though those men are not of the white ethnicity, and Chris Scotton may lose them in the dark, but what is really interesting is that neither of those women appear to be of childbearing age. So if any of them are unfortunate enough to fall pregnant, Nigel Farage need not fear, because his Croydon campaign will go on, and I'm sure that they'll come forth and lose their deposit, but it'll be okay, because nobody's vaginas are in working order. Also, that guy with a hand on the woman's shoulder, slightly effeminate. I'm getting the Dale Winton vibes. Maybe if he'd have run around the block a few more times when he was at school. But seriously, like, I've laughed at these idiots, but these are dangerous people. And they are running for public office. What I'd say to people who are thinking of voting UKIP is, do we really want people who are in positions of power, who are so inarticulate, who are so stupid? Who wants to live in a country that is run by these sorts of people? And yeah, you can agree with general UKIP policy that maybe we should pull out of the EU and that maybe we should have a more robust policy towards immigration. Those are acceptable views, but what is not acceptable is electing these people to positions of power, even if it is only sitting in the corner of the parish council and voting about how many park benches you're going to have. So what I'd encourage people to do is, before they go out to vote, is think.